Hi kindergarten friends. I am here today in my craft room, and I usually don't do my YouTube videos through the craft room because it doesn't have the best lighting and it's got a funny mat on it for sewing. So if you're wondering what all the stuff is around, it's all my craft stuff and my sewing things. But I'm here with my watercolors because today we are going to learn to draw a fun watercolor pumpkin. Now I have a black marker, a Sharpie, because I really wanted this to be dark and I wanted you to be able to see it. You can do this part with a black crayon, okay? So we're going to paint a pumpkin. It's going to be a watercolor pumpkin. And all you need to start is your finger, and you're going to draw an oval shape. So I'm just going to draw an oval. It's pretty big. Lots of space on the paper so I can make it pretty big. So I'll make a good size oval. I want to make it a tall oval, and I'll just practice that shape a few times. Then you're going to take your crayon. I'm going to take my marker and we'll draw that oval. Now remember, if it's not perfect, what do we say? We say, oh well, it's only paper. Okay, so I've got my oval. Then I'm going to show you with my finger first. I'm going to start at the tippy top, and I'm going to swoop up a little bit, out and around, and come down and touch the bottom. Okay, so watch that. I'm going to go up a little bit, swoop out and around, and come down and touch the bottom. Then I'm going to do that same shape on the other side. Start at the top, swoop up and around, down and touch the bottom. Swoop up and around and down and touch the bottom. I'm going to do that one more time on this side and one more time on this side. Swoop up and around, down and touch the bottom. Swoop up and around and down and touch the bottom. Okay, you guys, now you know I've said this so many times. I am not the best artist. I just do the best I can, and I'm learning. So I learned how to create this kind of a pumpkin shape on a class it was called Deep Space Sparkle, and she's a teacher who likes to teach about how to make pumpkins and different art projects. And one thing that she said is that you can just try, and it's okay if it's not perfect. I'm going to add kind of the top part of a rectangle to make my little stem right there. And then I'm ready for my paint. Now, I learned this technique because I'm learning how to do this. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm learning how to do this from a company called Let's Make Art, and I started taking classes from them, and they teach watercolor. And so I'm showing you with watercolor. If you don't have watercolor paints at home, you can use crayons. We've done this in the classroom with tempera paint, which is another kind of paint that some kids might have at home, but you can do that with tempera paint too. So I'm just starting by putting some orange on my paper. And again, if you have watercolors, give it a try. If you don't, that's okay, just use crayons. And then if you have watercolors, or regular tempera paint, this is a good activity to try blending with. So I'm going to take some of the peach color that I have and some of the yellow color that I have, and I'm just going to add those colors in, and it's going to make some different shades of orange. So if I blend this yellowish color in there, if I blend this in here, then it's going to make kind of an orangey color on the side. And so I've got my colors mixed in. One suggestion on Deep Space Sparkle, they said even add some red in there. And I thought, red? And she said, oh yeah, there's red pumpkins. I thought, yes, there are red pumpkins. Notice how I'm washing my brush whenever I change colors. So whenever I change from orange, maybe back to that dark reddish orange, I'm going to wash my brush in that water as I change the colors. So I'm just playing with different yellows and different oranges and filling in my lovely pumpkin, and I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep blending those. Now, if you only have a type of a watercolor tray that only has one color, it's just got one orange in there, that's why I got this guy out, because I can mix some colors. Like if I have my yellow and I put some yellow on a tray and wash my brush, and then let's say I have red and I put my red on a tray and I mix those together, it's going to make a different shade of orange than I had when I first started with just my plain orange in the tray. So try that out. Try mixing some different yellows and reds. Even you could even mix a yellow and an orange together and get a lighter orange color. So here's a little bit of orange. And if I put a bunch of yellow with that, it's going to make a different shade of yellow, kind of an orangey yellow. So keep playing around with your paints if you have paint. Keep playing around with your crayon colors if you have crayons. You might even notice in your crayon box it has different shades of orange. It's got a yellow orange and a red orange and a really orange orange. Now you'll need to decide, is your pumpkin going to have a brown stem or a green stem? I'm going to wash this off really well because I still see some orange on there. I think I'm going to make mine with a green stem, and I want this dark green. So here's my dark green. Now you should know watercolor paint does run into each other, so if it's still a wet pumpkin, then your green stem might get into the orange pumpkin a little bit, but that's okay. We just say, that's okay, it's just paper. So I got my paints from Michaels, and they were very inexpensive. The kind that we sell or that we have in our classroom just has a few colors. It's just got a little strip and it's got one of each color. That one will work too. You can mix your colors just like Mrs. Ross did. And then if you just have crayons at home or just have markers at home, that's fine too. But I wanted to show you how to make a pumpkin by just doing shapes and then making the curves around from the top up to all the way down to the bottom. So we call this a directed drawing. It's following directions for how to draw something, and then when you're finished, you come up with a great piece of artwork. If you want, you could even add a little green grass down at the bottom and some little green swirly swirls. They have little tendrils on them, and you can make it all your own. Make it however you want. Thanks for joining us, Russell. Okay, bye friends.